morning folks, or if you're not watching it in the morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. You join me today downstairs out of the loft because it's very warm, very sunny, and the loft is way too hot for human presence today. So therefore we are down here to look at the next member of the collection, which is quite an exciting member of the collection. As you can see in front of you now, we have the Eurostar, or at least the box for it. So this was purchased in April of 2016, so a couple of years ago, for the heart-stopping price of £169.99. It's a 4-car unit when you get it out of the box, so of course the real thing is like a 12-car unit or something similar. The box itself, as you can see here, is, well, it's pretty nice really. It's strong. It's got a picture of the full set on the bottom, and most of the set on the side. Full set again. Most of the set again. On the back, we can see the note about getting a second divisible saloon. So yeah, the coaches in this are they share a middle bogie, which is interesting. It makes it very difficult to get it through a tunnel on a curve, and you do have to have a lot of clearance on the curves as well, because they are much less forgiving than normal Mark 3s, Mark 4s, Mark whatever else. But that's not a problem, we can deal with it. And there's the full 6-car unit, which you can collect by purchasing the additional coaches. Now, as you can see, the Eurostar we're looking at today is in the newest livery, so the post-2014 livery, and it is of course the Class 373, which is slowly but surely being phased out in favour of the new Class 374. I don't know if Hornby will release a model of the 374, but the model of the 373 will certainly suffice for now, particularly for us. So I won't open the box in front of you because I would need about 5 different pairs of hands. So I will see you in a minute once I have taken it out. Okay, here we are with the full Eurostar 4-car train. I do need to get the additional 2 coaches, but I don't know how much they are, and I just haven't got around to it yet, but hopefully we will get them eventually. So if we have a look first at the divisible saloons, you can see we've got the first here with the middle bogie, and obviously one at the end, and then you've got the other one here which has no bogie in the middle, just has that clip, which I'll explain in a moment. Now these 2 coaches do go at the ends of the train next to the power cars, because they have these 2 grills here at one end. Now the ones in the middle would just have windows there, so they just lead on into the next coach. But these ones don't, because they go next to the power car, which you can see here is basically just one big grill with the cab at the front. So I will try to show you now how to put the 2 units together. It's fairly simple. So you can see in this one, just in there, you've got the clip in there. So all you should have to do is push the 2 together, apply a bit of force, and Bob's your uncle. There we go. Nicely clipped in. And there you've got your divisible saloon. And at the ends, just for you look, you've got a little sort of hole there, which is attached to the bogie, because you can see I can turn the bogie now. And same at the other end, just in there. Turn it, and it's attached to the bogie on the underside. And then on the ends of the power cars, you have a little clip, which obviously you put the hole over the clip, and that's sorted. So just like can line it up, just like that. Can't move like that. So, the coaches themselves do have a detailed interior. It's partly detailed. You can just see in there. You can see all the seats. They're not painted or anything like that, but they are there, which is nice. The ends are quite basic, but then again, I've never actually seen the end of a Eurostar coach, so I can't comment on how realistic it is. The bogies are all blue. They're quite basic, as you can see there. The grills are moulded. They're not real grills at all. The door, you do have a bit of detail there on the door handle there. Or, well, not the door handle, those buttons that you press to open it. But other than that, fairly simple. And again, there's only so much you can do with the door. The underframe, which is one of those lovely modern underframes, is all moulded, no detail of any sort on that. Got a little bit of writing there though. The middle bogie and the gangway, again, very basic, as you can see there. All just blue and moulded. The roof, again, is all moulded and dusty. I do actually dust them quite often, can I just say it now? It's just they tend to get dusty again. But it's nice to see an interior. The livery is very, very nice. It's a shame that the bogies, the middle gangway there, the underframe, it's a shame none of that's painted, because other than that, the livery on them is very, very nice. As you can see, a vast improvement on the old grey livery, I think, which was just a bit bland and a bit boring and getting on a bit. Whereas this is nice and fresh. It's a burst of colour as well to see flying through the Kent countryside and then off towards Paris or Brussels or just released Amsterdam. If we move on to the power car then, the moment you pick this up you can feel it. It just wants to go like that because the motor is housed in this section here, underneath the pantographs, which we'll come on to in a moment. Again, the bogies are very basic, but it is worth pointing out that every wheel on this model is metal, which is good, because plastic wheels do tend to spread dirt on your track, which is no good for anybody. The roof on here is much nicer. Now, to me that looks like a solar panel. What it's supposed to be, I don't know. You've got a bit of colour here and there, bit of added detail. Then you've got the pantographs just there. So you've got two pantographs which don't work, they are plastic, but they do come up like that. So if you did have the catenary or whatever it's called, something like that, then obviously you could put it up and it would look like it works. You've got another one there as well. I'm not sure on the prototype, you'll have to let me know whether both would be up or whether it'd just be one depending on where they are. So I don't know whether the French have a different electrification system to us, so maybe that one's for us, that one's for Europe. Could be wrong, that might be a load of absolute pants, but I'm sure you'll let me know. Again, the livery is beautiful, very nice. The Eurostar logo is nicely emblazoned on the side. The cab door here, you've got moulded handrails which are at least painted. That's something, I suppose. And to be honest, you can only really just about make that door out from the fact that it's a slight groove in the plastic. Got a lovely red stripe running across the top and around the front and onto the other side, which we'll turn to now. As you can see, it is pretty much identical to the first side. So this is number 3015 and the other is 3016. The two are identical except that one is much lighter, but I'll come on to that in a sec. The front, now putting detail and features to one side for a moment, that looks to me like a pretty realistic front and a pretty imposing front at that. I would not want to be stood in front of that thing. The lights, however, do not work, most unfortunately. But they do have a peculiar, on these ones here, a peculiar tendency to shine when the light reflects on it. I don't know if you can see that there, but it does actually look a bit like there are lights at the front, which is strange, but it's quite good. Got the Eurostar logo on the front. There's no cab, so that is just a blackened window. It's just a piece of plastic. This thing here, again, that's just black plastic. It's also very dusty. So it's a shame that the lights don't work. It's a shame that the detail is so poor, that there's no cab, can't even have a driver. But, oh well, there are worse things that can happen. So all in all, the power car and the coaches are unfortunately quite basic, but they capture the shape and livery of the Eurostar unit very well. The other power car, as I say, I just put that one over there, and this one forth, is pretty much identical, except obviously in running number, but everything else about it is exactly the same, with the two pantographs, the same roof detail, same livery, everything. And the front still looks quite good on the first impressions. When you look a bit closer, it could perhaps be improved. So all in all then, it is quite basic. It is a bit disappointing considering you've paid £170. But, like I say, it's a Eurostar set, and it really makes that clear. It's a very good representation of the prototype, even if it does lack some of the features we've come to expect from both Hornby, Bachmann, and of course all the others in the present day. Having said that, the model is quite old now, and could probably do with a retool. So hopefully Hornby will release the Class 374, and that will have all the modern features such as lights and maybe even a nice metal pantograph. Even if it doesn't work, it would still be nice to see a metal one, I think. But you know, you make your own decision on that. It is nice, however, just to point this out again, to see an interior, and it will hopefully add passengers to those coaches eventually. So the only thing that we need to do now is place this lot on the tracks upstairs. Hopefully they won't have buckled under the heat, and see how she runs, because that is ultimately why we have her today. Sorry as well, one more thing I forgot to mention. A slight issue with the running side of things. The Eurostar is equipped with traction tyres on the powered axle. Powered bogie on both axles. You can see them there. These, as I've stated before, are a slight issue because, as you can see there, they pick up dirt and dust quite easily and deposit it back on the tracks, which obviously isn't great. And they also hinder running when they burst, which does happen. See the colours rail. And that can mean they can't pull loads, they can't move at all, and it's generally not very nice. So a slight technical hitch there, but other than that, very nice. You join me now at the layout upstairs. It's now about 5 days later than what was 1 second ago for you, because it has been so unbearably hot up here in the loft, and it is still now. It's just cooled down a bit. We're in the evening now. That yeah, I just couldn't get up here. The railway has struggled slightly. It hasn't worked quite as well as had been hoped. So in a way, the rails have sort of buckled under the heat, but we're okay now. We will survive, and the Eurostar hopefully will work for us momentarily. So let's get this 4-car train running round the layout finally. Well, I mean finally for me. So as we can see here, she does run very nicely indeed. Very smooth, very dark, very quiet as well. I mean, you can hear the clickety clack of the rails, but other than that, she is fairly silent. She's also exceedingly quick. This is not even half her speed, and she's already rocketing round at pretty much the same speed as the Passatamba at full speed. Her performance is very, very smooth, as you can see for yourself. And in terms of that respect, it is very, very hard to fault Hornby in general, and this model is no exception. So I'll get you some shots of her around the layout in the lighter areas. What I am just doing now is getting her to speed up a bit. So she's still not going to be going full speed, but she's going to be going as fast as I dare run her around these curves, even if they are off radius. So this still isn't full speed. Certainly captured the high speed element, that much is for certain, and it's still nice and smooth. So if I just bring her slowly to a stop, coming back round, she'll just take a little while to stop. There she comes. There we go. Right. Oh, that's quite a nice angle there. I shall take her back downstairs to finish off this video for two main reasons. Number one, it's swelteringly hot up here and I want to get out. Number two, there isn't an awful lot of room up here for the famed pedestal. So I shall see you momentarily. So in conclusion then, the Hornby Eurostar 4-car unit is a very nice model, all in all. Its performance is pretty flawless and pretty fast. Bar of course the traction tyres. The pantographs don't work, but they are there and they're quite nice. The interior detail in the coaches is quite nice. The interior detail in the locos, not so much. There's no lights, no other modern features. The coupling system is a bit retro, but it'll do the job. It does do the job, should I say. The livery application, as you can see for yourself again, is very nice. And the detail is average, to be fair. It'll do. It looks like a Eurostar, that's the main thing. And with this model, this prototype, that is pretty much the main selling point. So, as usual, I'll shut up. I bet you wait to hear those words. And you can have a good look around. Start the cab.